Good afternoon, Sam and Emma. This is John from San Antonio.
John from San Antonio. Long time no talk to. You got primary day in Texas. Is that right, John?
Yeah. First, I want to say my heart goes out also to the people of Ukraine. So today is the day the two working class champions who are endorsed by Justice Democrats, Jessica Cisneros and Greg Cuellar, are favored to win seats in congressional districts that are in San Antonio. So if they win no other metro area, we'll have two Justice Democrats endorsed candidates besides New York City reps AOC and Jamal Bowman. The latest fundraising numbers from the period from January 1st to February 9th show a massive fundraising lead for Cisneros during that period. Cisneros raised $702,000 compared to only $142,000 for longtime incumbent Cuellar. Yeah, Cuellar still had $1.2 million in the bank, while Cisneros had $409,000 on February 10th. Cuellar started his ad campaign on January 10th, but his house and office were raided on January 19th by the FBI concerning possible corruption dealing with Azerbaijan. Cuellar co-chairs the House Azerbaijan caucus. There's been a constant barrage of TV ads from both candidates for the last 6 weeks, but Cuellar has been laying low and avoiding reporters that might question him about the FBI raid. His attack ads on Cisneros are straight out of the Republican playbook, hitting Cisneros on border security, talking about how she wants to get rid of energy jobs in the district. Cisneros has had a good mix of positive ads where she promotes Medicare for All and the Green New Deal, and ads that basically show Cuellar's corporate corruption and is that tied to the raid. So Cisneros won by double-digit numbers in the their first race in 2020.
Won or
and. Yeah, in Bexar County.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
she won in Bexar County, right, which encompasses, about it was 23% of the district, and now it's gone to 33% of the district.
All right, so just to be clear, John, the Texas redistricting has taken place. The new district, because when you want to solidify, if you're a Republican, you want to solidify Republican districts, what you do is you start to cram in more Democrats into a specific district. So the county that she won by double digits now represents, I guess, maybe 10% more of the overall congressional district. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. So now from 23 to 33. And so, and this is also, a little bit higher propensity voters and people in the rural areas.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you one more question. Yes. Absentee ballots. My understanding is that 30% of Texas absentee ballots have now been declared invalid under the auspices of this new rule, and that's up by 29 percentage points from the last go round. But I would imagine there's more people going out and voting in person maybe than they did, the last round, because the last round we were, if I'm not mistaken, we were in the middle of the pandemic was a little bit more scary. I have no idea in Texas. Did people even pay attention to it there? Did people wear masks?
Yeah, well, when that happened, it was the primary was on Super Tuesday, and so nothing was really shut down at that time. And so, and whenever you're comparing numbers, you always compare it to midterm numbers, because you have like the highest the midterm turnout, the highest since 1914 was 50%, and it was, I think, 67% for presidential. So yeah, it's been the numbers overall have been lower than the early vote in the compared to 2018. In certain counties, though, it is higher. Actually, in the 28th district, it has been higher generally, but I think that's because there's been so much emphasis placed on this race.
Okay, so John, let's cut to the quick. Let's. We appreciate all the data and the going through the weeds. Who's going to win, and then who wins in the general in both those races?
Well, I think Cisneros. I mean, I'm very much hoping, but to be honest with you, I mean, I think it's a three-way coin. It can't be a three-way coin flip, but I mean, it's 33.3% each way between Cisneros winning, Cuellar winning, and actually going to a runoff with Tanya Benavides, who's the third candidate. You know, if she gets 3 or 4%, I mean, that can throw it to a runoff. I think it's on May 24th or 25th, something like that.
Yeesh. And what happens in a runoff? Does that give, I get the feeling like Cuellar, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I have no sense. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
the real question is, like, if you watched Cuellar, like, is that dude, like not expending his last like $400,000 because he's thinking like, oh, I'm going to set up a foundation afterwards that's going to also take care of my legal bills?
No, I mean, I can say definitely, I mean, I don't watch too much cable, but I mean, I would say that, from what I've read also is he's spending a lot more money on like a local ABC, NBC, local ads as opposed to, let's say, MSNBC or CNN ads. That's where Cisneros is going. And so I don't know if that's a good strategy or not, but they're both inundating. I mean, it's just astounding. It's like every time there's a commercial, there's commercials for them. And so anyway, Greg Cuellar's path to victory in the 35th district seems much easier as a 29-point lead over the closest competitor, Eddie Rodriguez, in a PTP poll from February 18th and 19th. So the odds are that Cesar will hit 50% +1 to avoid a runoff. And so Cesar and Cisneros give Texas the best chance of gaining 2 leftist seats compared to any other state.
Wow.
The next closest state is North Carolina, where Nida Alam is the favorite in the 6th district. I mean, of course, their maps are still being hashed out. I mean, it's just taken to the Supreme Court. The state legislatures, both in North Carolina and Pennsylvania, saying that that they have the ultimate authority, and so
John,
that's
let me
be a real interesting rule.
Okay, we'll stay tuned for that. And I want you to call back too, so that we can hold you to account for your predictions. But let me just make this one statement. You tell me you agree or disagree that the only upside of this extreme gerrymandering that we're seeing in the context of both Republicans and Democrats, although more so it actually oddly helps in those Republican states, is that it opens up more opportunity for more progressive Democrats because you have districts that consist of more Democratic voters and therefore necessarily more progressive Democrats.
Yeah, I think that actually has to do more with demographics, people moving into the reason why the 28th is the way it is because they wanted to make the 15th, which is one area that's farther south. They want to make that more competitive, and it is more competitive. It's right now it's at 0, and there are just so many people moving into Austin that before they put a sink district, which Lloyd Doggett decided to run in. And so now basically Greg Cuellar is running in Doggett's old district. And so, yeah, I mean, it's really about demographics, and it's about people moving to larger cities, and those create sink districts. Like before, the city of Austin, which is, far and above the most progressive city in Texas, really only had, I would say, I'm just guessing, it's about 35% of the people represented, maybe 40 were represented by Doggett, and 60% were represented by Republicans before. and now it's going to be about 90%.
Oh, okay.
And
it's a big recipe for polarization, anyways. But
yeah. Well, I mean, it's another seat. It's another definite seat for Democrats, though. So
yep. Take it.